Dave Chappelle is right. He's correct. These news stations are, like, completely misrepresenting the issue. All right. The cancellation of Dave Chappelle, if you can believe it. Yellow Springs votes no on affordable housing plan after Dave Chappelle and others speak up. How fascinating. What do you have to say, Twitter person who did a quote tweet? What do we got? Dave Chappelle personally came to a city council meeting and threatened to remove his $65 million of investments from his city if they allowed a developer to move forward with an affordable housing program. The objection wasn't to the build, but the affordable housing component. Well, hold on. That sounds pretty bad.
Can I go?
Imagine just having Dave Chappelle show up to your goddamn local city meeting.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave Chappelle. I just want to say, and Marianne, I can talk to you about this privately. I don't know why the village council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while they X out a $65 million a year company. I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
A direct and incisive move. What's going on? As per David's wishes, the council ruled the build can continue, which David and the rest wanted, but will do so without letting poor people in, which was their primary objection. I dug into it, just to make certain, but the developer was explicitly putting land aside for affordable housing without even plans for it yet. Here we have the Dayton Daily News, his town. A 140-house plan in Yellow Springs takes another step forward. Interesting. Obrera Homes, a Miamisburg-based company that builds new developments, is planning to build about 140 new homes on 55 acres south of the village. Available homes in Yellow Springs have become increasingly expensive and scarce. Oh yeah, Soakdown left. Hold ye horse. The modifications the planning committee asked for included changing the angles of outdoor lighting to 90 degrees to minimize light pollution. Okay. And working with the village on modifying homeowners association rules for the development to align with the village's values. Obrera initially planned to construct 117 single-family homes, but chose to build more because that's what the village asked for. Within the new development called Birch Creek, Obrera, plans to build a mix of single-family homes, duplexes, and townhomes according to plans submitted to the village. Obrera says it will also donate 1.75 acres of land in the northeast corner of the development to the village for affordable housing. They will not necessarily be the company that develops that part, and the village will ask for proposals later. You see? So the company that was planning out this development wanted to set aside a little bit of land, 1.75 acres out of the whole 55 acres, not much, in the northeast corner. They wanted to set it aside for affordable housing. And they say the single-family homes between 1,450 and 3,700 square feet will sell for about $1/3 to $500,000, which I don't know much about housing prices in the U.S. broadly, but I grew up in Los Angeles, and this would be able to buy you a porta potty there. So, nice, great. Moving forward. The specific issue was zoning for high-density housing, which in Ohio is a very low bar to dip into. The problem is Yellow Springs is a well-off suburb of Dayton, and nobody wants an excess of cheaper housing supply nearby purely on property values alone. As I understand it, these are mostly upscale suburban developments, and they just didn't want the poors there because they're going to kick down the housing prices in their neighborhood. That is the situation as I understand it. The cynical part of me would assume the land itself was never going to be developed, but remains zoned for denser living to increase resale value. Or to be turned into a bougie park later on, but even the possibility it would have been used appropriately is worth trying. By the way, even the best case scenario, throwing around $65 million in investment to get your way at city council is both what every person with $65 million in investment does and also wildly undemocratic. Soaked on Left pointed this out ever so wisely all of 5 seconds ago, but this is indeed a capital strike, an example of single people with incredible power and wealth using that leverage to undemocratically affect the behavior of their adjacent political developments, which is not great. The math isn't hard here. Even if the developer lied about the affordable housing plot, their revised plans included cheaper housing than the original ones they were reverting to if the edits didn't get approved. Duplexes and townhomes are cheaper than single-family homes. So here we have a map of the proposed planning. That's the northeast section right there. Number 5, you can see, that would be the area retained for affordable housing, land donated to the village for affordable housing. And then here you have the same disgusting high-tier suburban sprawl that you see everywhere else. God, look at that. What a disgusting, abysmal, mortifying. Look at this. Oh God. Oh yes, this is what America needs more of, in addition to chat breaking. Here's an example of the model neighborhood proposal for the Ohio town. Oh, that's great. Look at that. That is just fantastic. You know, if chat's going to be quiet, then shh. That is just phenomenal. Oh my God, it's so ugly. Ugh, imagine having to take care of a lawn like that. You're so far away from anything cool. All the houses look the same. Disgusting. Anyway, we have the layout right here with this section. What being, it seems, the proposed affordable housing section. We have this, and this is a section from the article that we were looking at earlier. But a Twitter comment disagrees. This is completely inaccurate. The objection is they are building it directly in his backyard, taking pictures of his home and using it as a selling point. The PUD presented by O'Brien planned for houses starting at $300K and up, not affordable. So, PUD presented by O'Brien. Private urban development, referring to section number 5 right there. I don't think that's referring to the affordable housing section. So they're saying then that the affordable housing section is being placed directly next to what? Chappelle's property? Let me see if I can find more info on this. What a lovely time to not have chat with me to provide me links. Dave Chappelle housing. Let's bring it in. We're learning. Here's a CNN article, which has the video we looked at. Let's see if they have any information, which we do not. What does Chappelle say on the topic? Here, Dave Chappelle claps back after... Oh, here, Dave Chappelle's response. If there's an issue here, then he should give air to it, should he not? Chappelle, 48, addressed the town council, threatened to pull his money if they approve plans to develop this residential housing. Let's see. His representatives didn't respond to the Post's request for comment, but he did clear things up. In a statement to Fox News, his spokeswoman Carla Sims said the plan itself needed improvements. Dave Chappelle didn't kill affordable housing. Concerned residents and a responding village council killed a half-baked plan which never actually offered affordable housing. That's not really an answer. Is that the clapback? Is that the clapback? That's it? Okay. There's more of a clapback than that, right? However, the clips of Chappelle delivering his controversial ultimatum made the rounds on social media, with critics saying the comedian was using his star power to squash affordable housing options in his community. Comes on the heel of another controversy, which we know about. Neither Dave nor his neighbors are against affordable housing. However, they are against the poorly vetted cookie-cutter sprawl-style development deal which has little regard for the community culture and infrastructure of the village. The whole development deal, cloaked as an affordable housing plan, is anything but affordable. 3 out of 143 lots would have been for future affordable housing. The rest of the homes were to be priced between $250,000 and upwards of $600K. In Yellow Springs and in many other places, that is not considered affordable housing. Instead, that is an accelerant on the homogenization of Yellow Springs. Ooh. Well, that's an interesting counterargument. So now the spokesperson for Dave Chappelle is saying, "Oh, the chat lives. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to the world. Do you work over here? Ah, we work again. How nice." So Dave Chappelle's manager here is saying that he withdrew his funding because they felt like the affordable housing gimmick was a virtue signal and the rest of it was just, you know, suburban sprawl that they felt would make their town look like shit. An interesting counterpoint. Perhaps we should look into it further. According to the Dayton Daily News, the proposed development involved more than 100 single-family homes with its range of pricing. Meanwhile, Max Croman, advisor to Chappelle's Iron Table Holdings, told Fox News in a statement that he does not believe the developers properly engaged with the community before making their proposal. In the rush for approval, they limited their outreach and failed to engage the community at large in the input process. Additionally, the developer's product and generic approach to building does not allow for flexibility to address the particular needs of our village. Perhaps public meetings, design creativity, and a willingness to listen will provide them with valuable insights in how to get it right in Yellow Springs. Ah! Well, maybe Dave Chappelle isn't in the wrong here. Maybe Dave Chappelle, generally an asshole, don't get me wrong. Maybe Dave Chappelle only got angry because he felt like this would just be another homogenous dipshit suburban sprawl that was marketing itself as being sustainable because they set aside 2% of their available developing land for affordable housing development that they weren't even going to fund themselves. They were just going to leave 1.5, acres of land to a patch of grass to just, whatever. Maybe in the future they'll build something, Can we get a Google map view of the village right now? Soak done left. I like how you think. That sounded so cringy. I hope that didn't sound... That came across as cringy to me. That sounded like a movie cliche. I like how you think... Maps! I like how you think... reading! It didn't to me? Oh, that's nice. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at the town. All right, the town's name is Yellow Springs, right? Yellow Springs, Ohio. Yellow Springs, Ohio. And they said the development was going to be adjacent to 55th Street, keeping it 55th Street. Oh, no, wait, no, it wasn't. I just made that up in my head. Wow, that right there is a small town. Look at that. My goodness. Look at these town borders. Wow. Okay. Well, we're definitely dealing with a limited scope of land here. Not even a town, it's a village, so told. All right, hold on. Now, let's cross-compare this to the maps. Here, hold on. Let's see if we can find any... 55 acres south of the village. Okay, okay. South of the village. Well, where would that be? Would it be an expansion of the village? So it would be somewhere around down here. Let me see. Where does it say? Where does it say where they are building this? Here we go. All right. So, right west of Spillin Road and east of Xenia Avenue. There we go. Zillin Road, Xenia Avenue. Zillin Road, Xenia Avenue. Zillin Road. Give me a street name. That's Route 68. Zillin Road, Xenia Avenue. It's Hyde. Corner of 68 and Hyde. Hold on. Here's Hyde. Now, where's 68th Street? Yes, we're oh, here. Hyde and 68. So it's not 68th Street. It's the, Here we are. It's this, right here. This chunk of land right here. And that means... Is this Dave Chappelle's house? Sorry about the doxing, guys. I think that might be Dave Chappelle's house. They did say... No, it's not? Not his house? Yeah, it looks big enough. Somewhere in the area. Gotta be somewhere nearby, right? Where are you? Well, either way, it's a large house. So this is the property that we're looking at here, or at least the chunk of land that we're looking at. Let's see how it compares to the local style. So Dave Chappelle is speaking out against this because he thinks that it would contribute to the homogenization of Yellow Springs. Now, when I zoom in, at least down here, this... Yeesh. Well, they're building out here. When was this photo taken? July 2012. Okay, these street view photos aren't going to work here. The satellite photos are much, much more recent. I love you, Americana. Dun, dun, dun. I'm the son of rage and love. Well, we're not going to be able to see street view because the street view photos are probably from like the Paleolithic era, but this looks like pretty standard suburban sprawl to me. When does Google update their images? You can expect the satellite photos are pretty recent, but Street View photos dates are listed on the top left when you go in. Here, let's try it. Oh, more recent. Nope, 2012. Wait, are these even the same houses? I could be wrong. These look like two-story houses to me. No, they could be one story. The shadow off the car isn't that much shorter than the shadow off the house. Yeah, okay, they're this. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Well, okay. So, wait, hold on. Let's take a look at the character of the neighborhood. So that means these are the same houses. So we can take a look. What does this neighborhood look like? I will admit, this isn't my style of living. This isn't my shit. Yeah, at least they have sidewalks. I do like these trees. What do they call these? Willow trees? Oh, that's a really pretty kind of tree. I like the trees. I'm a fan of the trees, you know. Actually, quite a few pretty trees. Credit where credit's due. That's a nice one. All right, I stand the trees, if nothing else. The last street view photos we're going to be able to get from here are from literally 1 decade ago. Let me see. Let's go near the... Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at where, you know, the commercial district is. Oh, imagine going out of your back porch and you get to see a parking lot. Oh, from 2021. Recent. Nice. Vosh is so goddamn bougie. It's not bougie. Listen, the issue here is nothing to do with wealth. It's with zoning. This has nothing to do with wealth. Is this a fire station? A school? It's gotta be a school, right? It has like no parking lot. Do you think living in the city is better? I'm begging Americans to understand that like suburban sprawl... Oh, hello, person. Suburban sprawl is not the alternative to city living. Like, for a lot of people, it's literally just like, hey, listen, it's either Manhattan, it's either Staten Island, or it's this, you know? Then what is a farm? What about like well-constructed villages? I don't want to get into this again, guys. Can we, like, you realize you can Google Maps Germany? You can find such nice towns in like Europe. Okay, I typed in German village and I'm being greeted with a town called German Village, which it's not in Germany. It's mixed use missing middle. Yeah, yep. It's a whole thing. The whole thing. Columbus on the cheap, lights in the German village. This is in America. Did I say village in Germany? I feel like we're cherry picking a little bit here because we're like specifically looking for stuff that's like pretty and renowned for being pretty, but I promise you Americans that there are ways to like have smaller communities that aren't just like giant tracts of like ugly flat land. It's very possible it can be done. It's been known to happen. In fact, it was how we did for like most of all time. German village that I lived with, not even super fancy. Okay, yeah, here, like just this. If you want to compare city living to suburban living, then like it's possible to live in like low to medium density, like smaller communities, and it not be like egregious car-based ugly bullshit, okay? Bosh, what's the difference? Roblox yourself and ask Christ, okay? What were we doing? Oh, we were just zooming around here. What was the point of all this? Did we decide whether or not Dave Chappelle was correct? Well, I agree that the housing developments were ugly and that the portion of affordable housing was insubstantial, but I'd like some kind of evidence that his initial anger was because of the plan in general and not because of the proposed. Actually, no, wait, hold on. My opinion is shifting on this. Yeah, here we go. In December 2021, the Yellow Springs News reported that Chappelle, who lives near the planned development, said during a council meeting that he was adamantly opposed to the proposal that would add 140 mixed-income level homes to the village. That's it. His opposition here isn't to the affordable housing section. His opposition here is to the entire plan. Now, the fact remains that his enormous wealth gives him an undemocratic level of power over the decision-making. He might be using it as an excuse. All the way back here, villagers raise concerns over Several villagers who live close to the proposed development, including internationally known celebrity Dave Chappelle, voiced their concerns, which included increased traffic and absence of sidewalks, and the general setup of the development. Planning Commission member Sarah Sinclair Amond, a Southview Drive resident, said she has concerns about her children's safety with increased traffic on Spillane Road. Okay, no one cares about whether children survive. Oh, we'll get to that, Sock, don't laugh. Chappelle, who lives near, says he's adamantly opposed. I've invested millions of dollars in town. If you push this thing through, what I'm investing in is no longer applicable. I would say Obrera can buy all of this property from me if they want to be your benefactor, because I will no longer want to. We should use more of a visionary eye instead of a reactionary one, because the potential of this place is immense and Obrera is not the only solution. Huh. I actually think that I'm in favor of Dave Chappelle here. It seems like he's invested a lot into the village because he's an ultra wealthy guy who's there. And his opposition to this development plan just seems to be greedy housing developers that were using a tiny bit of land, which they were setting aside for someone else to turn into affordable housing, as like a virtue signal to put through, just more like suburban sprawl. I am opposed to suburban sprawl, guys. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Now, the fact that he has enough money to undemocratically, like weigh in on this is a consequence of capital. Didn't they vote to approve the plan but just remove the affordable housing part? Wait, hold on. My feelings could shift again. Wait, we're flip-flopping all over the place today. Ohio Village scraps plan with affordable housing after Dave Chappelle threatens to pull his businesses. The plan did not pass after the comedian called the Yellow Spring Village Council clowns and said a proposed restaurant and comedy club in his hometown would be off the table. Wait, what? Restaurant? Restaurant and comedy club? Wait, this video is longer. Is that because of additional content or because of commentary?
I just want to say,
Commentary. What is this spooky music?
audition for you. The table. That's all. Thank you.
The new housing development cannot proceed. Okay, scrap plan with affordable housing. Hold on. The Ohio Village Monday failed to approve a zoning ordinance that included dozens of affordable housing units after... Wait! NPC News, this is misinfo. Only 1.55 acres of land were set aside for affordable housing units that weren't even going to be developed by that housing company. There weren't dozens of affordable housing units. The rest of the housing... 1.75, thank you. The rest of the housing was like upper range, like 1/3 to 500,000, and in like the middle of nowhere in Ohio. That's hardly affordable housing. It's possible the plan updated to have either more or less housing units. Well, then I need that plan. Didn't all the previous info say it was going to have 140 units? 140 units in total, not in the affordable housing section. Is this a hit job? Is this a hit job from the developers? Oh God, we're doing investigative reporting now. Oh my God. Reiterated his opinion when the zoning change came up for Monday. At that meeting, according to video posted to Yellow Springs Community Access YouTube page, deadlock 2-2, cannot proceed. In a statement to NBC News on Thursday, Chappelle spokesperson Carla Sims said neither Dave nor his neighbors are against... Okay, so we read that already. Without the higher density and affordable home units, Council President Brian Hosch said in a memo the starting price for homes in the development could jump by $100,000. Council President. Village Council and community members. Okay, here we go. This is the housing plan. Proposed urban development, current zoning. Number of market rate homes, 140 to 143. Home price units here. So these are two options here. A private development, different owners, current property, only alternative PUD is using current zoning to build 143 single-family homes, which was their plan prior to the community values objective. Okay. So these were after alterations were made from the initial plan. The initial plan, current zoning RA versus this, where prices have been brought down, duplexes, townhomes have been provided, donated land for affordable housing, 1.75 acres for 20 to 30 units with infrastructure and village control. 20 to 30 units in 1.75 acres? I guess depending on how densely you build, that's possible. Bowen housing goals addressed. 3, high and moderate income for sale and affordable types. Okay, so these are housing goals based on like external policy. Okay. Green space, more preserved by density. So this is a higher density planning development, whereas this was the current zoning plan that they were voting to change. Okay, hold on. Walkability and connectivity, public playground and park, HOA, constructed wetland. I like constructed wetlands. I guess that's nice. Cost, quality of living improvements, estimated value of development, $39 million, not including affordable because they weren't developing the affordable. That was just going to be left to someone else. Utility, revenue, stormwater. Okay, so these are the two separate plans. Wait, God, hold on. So if this was the initial plan and this was the edited plan, is Dave Chappelle rejecting this plan or is he rejecting the entirety of the development? He spoke out in late 2021. When was this PUD developed? Was it developed afterwards? When was the development added? When was this change made? Here. This is when the change was made. November 11th, 2021. 140 house plan takes another step forward, this is where it mentions the changes to the housing. This is the one that makes reference to the changes in the zoning. But when did Dave Chappelle initially speak out against it? He initially spoke out against it back in 2021. So was he speaking out against the initial planning? Here, villagers voice concerns over O'Brary. Guys, I'm not asking about the date on the document. in December 15th, 2021, in reference to a Zoom meeting held at December 6th, which was after the alterations to the plan were put forward, which would have added the affordable housing segment and also changed some of the zoning developments to include townhouses and lower income housing. So the initial plan had been around for a while. This was the alteration which was put forward, which then led to Dave Chappelle speaking out. So did he speak out against the alterations or against the plan in general? The language that he used made it sound like he was speaking out against the plan in general because he was arguing against Obrere's plan. But that could also be because Obrere was the person who was being brought in for the alterations and wasn't the person who was around for the initial plan. Who was going to do the original plan? The current zoning plan? Who? Who? We have to go back. We have to go back in time. We have to go back. Give me articles on Obereyre, Yellow Springs, 2020 and before. If there was an existing plan that it should have been around for a while, we're going back in time. Anytime, custom range. From before the alteration. So I'm going to go October 2021, 2010. Anything. Here. Ad blocker. Ah. No. Hold on. Here. Non-land block. From Yellow Spring News, a newspaper for a town of 5 people. Yes! Land annexation moves ahead. Council began the process of annexing the 34 acres of land. This is the beginning of that proposed housing development. Okay. A resolution passed unanimously, development of 138 single-family homes and duplexes. Obrere, a semi-custom home builder, is under contract to purchase the property. Yes! It was Obrere from the beginning. They weren't part of the altered plan. They were there from the beginning, which means that Dave Chappelle's opposition to Obrere isn't just an opposition to the changes that would have made it more accessible to poor people. He was opposed to all of it. Dave Chappelle is right. He's correct. Dave Chappelle has spoken out against this development and against the company putting it forward before alterations were made to the zoning plan, which would have made it accommodate affordable housing. Man, he still sucks? Yes, he does. But in this respect, he's correct. This feels like a hit piece, or maybe just a consequence of bad PR leading to this point, people being uncharitable to him. And he also spoke pretty poorly. If I was an bajillionaire, like Dave Chappelle, and I went to a town hall meeting to flex my money as a way of changing like policy, I probably would have been a little bit more careful in how I propose, Well, not an optics lord, that Dave Chappelle guy. Interesting. Yeah, let's undo the retweet. Now we know. Do we actually know if the development is dead? No, I think they're moving forward with it. Aren't they? What was the most recent article here? They're doing the original plan? Wait, well, if they're doing the original plan, then what was the point of all of this? What was the point of all this? The density was less than the original plan. Yeah. But he's spoken in a way which makes it seem as though Chappelle would be consistently against the broader suburban development, not just the alterations made that would have given it affordable housing, which means that he isn't speaking out against affordable housing. The zoning plan at Village Work did not approve Monday, total 140 homes. So what is going forward then? What are you guys linking? Stop linking. This article says it's reverting to zoning before any of these plans. So it's just regular zoning? Where? Where does it say that? Going back to zoning as in the council is going to rule on how to... Hold on. There's only one use of the term zoning in here, and it's... What's going forward? Single-family homes are going forward. Give me a article saying that the single-family plan is what's going forward now. Dave Chappelle should still be opposed to that. It says they're reverting to the previous plan. I can't read. It doesn't say reverting. Instead, it means a previously approved plan for all single-family homes on the site can move forward. Obrera Homes, the semi-custom home builder that has worked with the village on the housing development for close to a year, plans to move forward with the project under the current zoning. Well, Dave Chappelle should be opposed to this. Wait, Dave Chappelle should be opposed to this. His complaints were consistent. He is? Then why would he only... Wait, so he was just opposed to the low-income housing? No, his language was in opposition to the entire plan, not just to the low-income housing. It was to the entire thing. I understand what happened. Oh my God, he's so stupid. He is, yeah, he's against the entire development. I'm so confused. I understand now the full timeline. Are you guys ready for the breakdown? Are you guys ready? We're going to learn. We're going to learn the timeline, folks. Okay? Okay, we're going to start. Okay? So first, Dave Chappelle makes a lot of money. This is essential. I have no idea how to draw Dave Chappelle's face in the way that I'm drawing it right now. So we're just going to go with that, okay? There we go. So first he makes a lot of money, okay? So that's step number one, okay? And then he moves to Ohio, which I'm going to draw in letters. But I remember what it looks like, guys, okay? In a town called Yellowstone, or whatever. Yellow Springs. There. It's Yellow Springs. Okay? So I go over there. Okay? So, or over there, okay? And then some amount of time passes. So we're gonna draw the clock. Because time's passing, so it's spinning, okay? Time passes, okay? But then, a thing most sinister happens. Obrere, which I'm going to represent as a sombrero, because that's what it feels like to me. Because Obrere, sombrero. You know what I'm talking about. There we go. The sombrero UFO, okay, decides that they want to develop they want to make money, okay? And the way they want to make money, okay, is by building houses. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. Give that a little awning. There we go. All right? They want to build houses. Specifically, a lot of them. So they work to buy land and to take advantage and to work with the city council to get an area zoned for housing construction. Okay? Now, Dave Chappelle sees this and he doesn't like it. No bueno. All right? Because Dave Chappelle doesn't want that suburban sprawl in his town, even though it's already kind of happened. But, you know, whatever. I don't know why he chose to live there. He's so rich. Okay. He lived there since before he was rich. Oh. Don't get in the way of my story. Okay? So anyway, Dave Chappelle doesn't like this plan. All right? But, tragically, you know, because it stands to increase the tax revenue of the city and make some rich people a lot of money, you know, the city council moves forward with zoning plans, and Dave Chappelle vocally opposes it. Then, all right, the city council, who I'll represent here with sort of a cartoon penis, thank you. The city council, all right, says, you know, we could get some epic woke virtue signaling points if we had some of this land zoned for affordable development. So we're going to have a plan proposed and work with Obrera to edit the zoning laws, or edit the zoning permissions given in order to make some of these houses, you know, like townhouse. Here, we'll do like a little townhouse. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. See, now it's like a two... See, now it's like a two townhouse kind of thing. See? See? There we go. Some of that. Okay? You get it? But Dave Chappelle still doesn't like the damn plan. He's still not a fan of it. He still doesn't like it. Okay? So Dave Chappelle speaks out against it in the Twitter video that we saw. Okay? So I'll just Let's draw some more balls, I guess. I don't know, because that video is balls. Now we got some hair. There we go. And some weird looking balls, but anyway. And then it goes viral on the Bird app, which looks like this. That's a wing. That's the beak. All right? Perfect. Okay? The issue, however, is that when he in the clip, okay, Dave Chappelle was speaking at a town hall meeting, not where they were approving the entire plan, but rather where they were approving the alterations to the plan. Idiot Dave Chappelle, who doesn't like any of it, went to the town hall meeting where they were approving the alterations that would have made it less terrible, therefore causing this plan to fail and the original unaltered plan to go through. Do you understand? This was only a town hall meeting to alter the plan. As I understand it, that's literally what happened. So he might have actually made things worse, but not because he dislikes affordable housing, but rather... It is possible that the ship has already sailed on the development in total. It's possible that there's stuff that he knows that we don't, or that there's going to be future proceedings where he can, meddle with affairs. But the way he was speaking in that clip where he threatened to pull a $65 million out doesn't make any sense, considering the fact that that meeting was only to make the alterations, Like, he went in there threatening, like, I'll pull my money out of this town if you don't cut this shit out. At the meeting that would have made the bad thing better. How do you know he doesn't like the affordable housing part? Because his opposition to this, the language regarding his opposition, has been consistent and present and directed against the Obrera plan in general, not just the affordable housing. So this is still bad, but... I gotta wonder how this is gonna play out, but what's worse, him possibly being stupid or him being malicious? Look, in my opinion, I feel like Dave Chappelle maliciously blocking changes to development that would allow for affordable housing is a lot worse than Dave Chappelle speaking out at a time which would have prevented small improvements as opposed to preventing the plan in general, He mentions his own investments in comparison to a risk of litigation from a $24 million company. So the idea of not being allowed to stop the development may have come up before that. That's true. The fact that Dave mentioned a risk of litigation from a $24 million company, which I'm guessing is the housing company, suggests to me that the ship may have already sailed on him stopping the plan at all, and that he's now just stopping this part of the broader plan because he just hates all of it, At that point, it might be a spite thing. You already approved the bad thing. No, I'm not letting you woke your way out of this one with a tiny patch. Oh, no, the 24 million company is his own business in town. Oh, is that true? The 24 million is his own? So he might be threatening litigation from his own company then. I don't know why that... Well, that also sounds spiteful. Huh. No, the 65 million is his own, but maybe he has adjacent 25 million. Let's re-listen to the clip one more time. That's so interesting. So he's going to sue himself. Haha. Yeah, nothing about this makes sense.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave Chappelle.
No. Come on.
For you. I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Again, listening to his language here. Yeah, it's edited. God. Listening to his language here, this seems like a situation where he's been angry with them for a long time, right? This does not sound like he's just mad because of the recent alteration made with the affordable housing. This sounds like a situation where he's sort of holistically angry. Yeah, let's take a look at the Twitter video, which is unedited. So Dave Chappelle. Man, we are really getting into the weeds on this. I didn't expect this to be so interesting.
Can I go? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave Chappelle. I just want to say, and Marianne, I can talk to you about this privately. I don't know why the village council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while they X out a $65 million a year company.
Okay, the $24 million a year company has to be the housing development company, right? It has to be, yeah. Okay, so so the fact that he would be mentioning potential litigation from them suggests to me that that the ship has already sailed. That the city council would risk litigation if they pulled back on the housing plan at this point.
I believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, it's a problem that people with a lot of money can influence politics to this extent, but I can actually understand his frustration here. If he's actually like this ultra rich, famous guy, and he's invested a lot of money into the town, and the city council is just plowing ahead with like a suburban development in spite of his like wishes otherwise, and apparently community wishes as well. Because the earlier article from that town newspaper we looked at said community concerns, not just Dave Chappelle. So, it's possible his frustration here is pretty legitimate. Huh. The community was also concerned with home prices. Homeowners are like a flag on housing like policy. I don't care. Here's another video clip from an account that I follow, which is apparently... Okay, so I'm going to guess this is from the December 4th Zoom meeting that they had. Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
Dave is on. All right, Dave, go ahead.
What is wrong with being a homeowner? Oh, guys, shut up. I'm only saying that generally speaking, people who got their homes from their parents tend to sit there squatting, complaining about high property taxes, and they prevent any other housing from being built in an area because it devalues their home, which means that housing prices get unaffordable for other people. The overrepresentation of homeowners in like local politics has led to incredibly like anti-poor housing policies, and it's a massive problem. It's a huge problem in California as well.
Can you hear me?
Oh my God.
You're echoing. But yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I just want to say I'm adamantly opposed to it. Obviously, I live behind the development or the proposed development. I do have many business interests in town. I've invested millions of dollars in town. If you push this thing through, what I'm investing in is no longer applicable.
It was his
I would
house.
say that Ober can come and buy all this property from me if they want to be a benefactor, because I will no longer want.
So true.
Can you hear me?
You dropped for a minute there, Dave.
The average age in the village is 49 years old. Without a school, you will not attract young families, and this city will not live beyond the retirees that decide to settle here. And I'm surprised that Marianne McQueen is
based? Extremely wait, hold on. Extremely based? Forward-thinking zoning planning? Zone?
Is suddenly not averse to change, because you always are when I propose a change. And now all of a sudden we have to recognize the change. These changes are inevitable, but we do have a decision on what they will or could be. And I think we should use more of a visionary eye instead of a reactionary one, because the potential of this place is immense, and Ober is not the only solution.
Yes, that's the housing company. Obrera isn't the only solution. The housing company that originally had the plan.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
I'd like to yield the rest of my time to Max Crone.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle is correct. He's actually in the right here. Yeah, this is a predatory developer that's working with the local city council to push suburban housing development against the. Again, this is all probably complicated beyond what I can account for just over here, but yeah. Okay. No, at no point in any language has Dave Chappelle spoken out against the affordable housing section. The affordable housing section was already a thin veneer of a virtue signal that was added to make a bad plan slightly less bad, and at no point has he ever spoken about that. All of his criticisms seem to be against the housing developers and against the development itself. All right, there we go, lads. Dave Chappelle has not done anything problematic now, ever. This was insanely bad reporting. Yeah, it was, actually. Actually, wait, hold on. These news stations are, like, completely misrepresenting the issue. We actually outdid the journalists here. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, no, Dave Chappelle's in the right here. I'm not saying he's, like, a good person or whatever, but on this issue, the reporting here is not representative. I can't believe that actually was his house. I'm really glad we looked into it. I didn't expect to want to do so much research. Guys, I went into this segment looking forward to shitting on Dave Chappelle. I'm really glad that I did a little bit of due diligence.